Hey, welcome back to New World Ultimate Guide, episode 15. I went and saw Joe Rogan this weekend, second row, and it turns out he got COVID. So, we gotta talk about it. First of all, the Joe Rogan experience, live in person, awesome. Super awesome. Went to the arena. We got these tickets a little over a year ago. My wife bought them, and we got a good deal on them at the time. It was like they went on sale. I've always followed all his pages and stuff, so as soon as it went on sale, I guess she saw it and decided to book it, and then it got canceled. Originally it had Dave Chappelle, who I think is hilarious. I grew up watching him on Comedy Central and Adult Swim and stuff, so I thought he was great. But he canceled because originally it was supposed to be the two of them, and then COVID delayed it, and then this was the redo, which was this Friday at the end of August. Last Friday, August. So we went out there. We got there probably about an hour before the show was supposed to start. And we got some parking, and parking's $30 in Tampa. So it was $30 a park, but we got good parking close by. Didn't have to walk far, which is important for me because I got injuries and stuff. So we get there, and there's tons of people, and nobody's wearing a mask, and I don't really care. I'm beyond that now. You can't go policing everybody, and I'm not wearing one. So that's Florida, and they're not enforcing it there. So pretty much only people that are working the event were wearing masks. But we got in relatively fast to go through security, metal detector. Then if you brought a phone, and I didn't because we heard about this beforehand, and I don't use my phone much anyways. Truth be told, I switched out of iPhone because I was having some problems to an LG, and I hate it. And I'm waiting for the iPhone 13 to come out because it's they listened to everything I hated about it and fixed it all. So I'm ready to go back to Apple. But anyways, I didn't bring my phone in anyways. But the people that did bring their phone in, because you can't record in there or anything, you got to put your phone inside this pouch that has one of those magnetic department store trackers on it, sort of, but it keeps the package closed so you can't access your phone while you're in there. So we go down there and we sit we're in the second row, stage, one row of seats in front of us, then us, and so we're probably 10 feet from where he's going to be, and it ended up getting delayed, and that was okay, I guess, because people were still trickling in anyways, and you don't want them to be interrupting the show. So the late people still got in, and it all got started, and he had two people open up for him. The first one was this woman, and I forget what her name is, but she was just on the most recent Joe Rogan episode experience on YouTube. I forget what the woman's name is. I'm sorry. She was cool. She sounded like Mickey Mouse, which was funny, but it was also kind of annoying because it was so loud. But she had some good jokes. And, I feel like a lot of the female comedians do the more grotesque X-rated jokes because they can get away with it, where Joe Rogan can get away with it, but it's part of his set is that it's weird when men do stuff, and it's not weird when women do stuff, and vice versa. And that's one of those things that the guys that do the perverted jokes, it's kind of creepy sometimes, where when you got a cute woman with a high-pitched voice doing it, it's funny. So it's just one of those things, but she was funny. And then the next guy after her, I called the openers fluffers. I don't know if they still call them that in the industry, but that's what I call them. So the second fluffer was this guy. He called himself the first woman called herself Gay Mickey, and the second one said that he was more like a gay Woody. And he was like dressed up in his like cowboy boots and his like cowboy hat and everything, and his big belt buckle. And he was doing a lot of like, I guess it's Caitlyn Jenner. I'm not sure which one it is, but the athlete that transferred. So he's doing a lot of those jokes, and it was like hot or cold in the audience because like a lot of people were like, I'm not gonna laugh because it's like offensive to people, and the other half were just laughing so hard. And it really goes to show you like I guess what people are thinking socially without asking them, because like the people that are laughing think it's funny, they have like a good sense of humor, I guess, or the jokes, the people that weren't laughing at it, some of the jokes were on the line of like a little too offensive where it wasn't funny. But you know, good comedians like jump up with that line. So then finally Joe Rogan comes up and everybody freaks out, and in between the second fluffer and the main event, Joe, we've got nobody sitting in front of us directly, but to the seat in front of me to my right is Joogsquad. So like I had seen them for the first time with the new Red Tide video that they did. It had popped up because I'm in the area and I've seen him before out on the beach and like friends of friends and stuff. But I saw his Red Tide video. I thought that was really wild. And you know, I live out here too, so like we've all been watching it get worse every year, trying to find solutions and you know what we can do to fix it. And so I like tapped him on the shoulder because he had a cool Star Wars hat on, and I thought it was him, but I wasn't sure. So I tapped on his shoulder and I was like, "Hey, nice hat." And he turned around. I saw his eyes because I guess his eyes are still healing from getting the Red Tide infection or whatever. And he's like, "May the Force be with you." And I guess he's got like a little lightsaber tattoo on his wrist or something, which is cool. I love Star Wars too, man. Star Wars is like the best. So that was cool. He had some friends with him. Didn't talk to him a bunch, but that was it. But it was cool. He was like a nice guy. So you never really know. I've met a lot of famous people or people that are like big on the internet, and you never really know how they are like in person if you're just like, "Hey, what's up?" You know, like some people don't want you to talk to them, but like I figured we're sitting next to the guy for like 3 hours, so I might as well just be like, "Yo." So anyways, Joe Rogan comes up and everyone goes wild, and he's got his drink up there and his stool and whatnot. And he's wearing jeans and like a dress shirt, and it looked like he was a little how do you say this? I guess he was a little hot. So it looked like he was like perspiring a little bit, and it's easy to tell when like somebody who doesn't have hair is sweating because like their head gets all shiny, especially when you've got a ton of lights on you like that. So like I could tell that he was like a little sweaty, and I said to my wife, I was like, he's like such an athlete. Why is he sweaty like right now? You know? And I was like, maybe it's all the lights on him. Maybe it's just Florida, you know? Maybe he had to like run here because he was a little behind it starting, and I thought maybe that was because people were late at coming in because a lot of the seats still weren't filled, and I think people canceled because of COVID and stuff too. But so he starts doing his bit, and ironically he was making some COVID jokes, which I don't want to like sell out all his punchlines because I'm pretty sure that it's going to be on Netflix. So if it is on Netflix, we're right behind Joogsquad in the second row. And, you know, we were laughing up there were some funny jokes. So, Joe Rogan was really hilarious. But, I thought it was ironic because at the time it looked like he was like, like he ran to the stage or like maybe he was sweating a little bit. And I just found out maybe a couple hours ago that he tested positive for COVID. And now there's this video that's going viral of him. I saw it first on YouTube and it was CNN. And I saw it was a brand new clip. And it's Joe Rogan like sweating on CNN. It says Joe Rogan test positive for COVID. And I'm like, what? My wife's like, no way. We just saw him like 2 days ago. And so we're like, no, dude, not Joe Rogan. He's the best. And it's so crazy because he was just telling jokes about it. I guess that his wife had got it like the first round. And that wasn't like stopping him from like getting close to her, which is a whole like line of jokes and I don't want to ruin, but like that's the point. And he was joking about how like it only is for at-risk people and like, healthy people aren't going to get it and stuff like that, which is crazy because like it's just that's how that kind of stuff works. It's sort of like foreshadowing, So like he's like doing his bit and we're like 10, 15 feet away and he's projecting because he's got to project so that the whole stadium can hear him on the microphone. And the way that the lights are, we can see all of the vapors from him projecting coming out of his mouth, like floating down onto us. So now I'm like, her and I are looking at each other and we're like, okay, so if we haven't gotten it yet, because I got it the first time, but if we haven't gotten this new Delta yet, this is what we're going to get it from. So now we're like in quarantine because we just found this out. I just found out that, of course we're there and like I don't feel sick or anything, but I guess it takes a while to get going. So we're like close enough, I guess, according to the CDC to like get it from him. And I'm not going to blame it on him if I get it because then it's just like, well, shit, that's how it happened. I'm not going to be like, Joe Rogan, this is your fault. That's not, just for the record, I'm going to publish this. So like, if I get COVID and die, don't blame Joe Rogan because it was awesome and totally worth it. But he's making jokes. He's making some jokes about Elon. I had just published the last episode, or maybe it was 13, and I had made some jokes about Elon. And he's up on stage and he's like, you're not allowed to make jokes about Elon. He's my friend. And I'm like, yeah, but like, I love Elon too, but he makes it so easy. We're talking about like dancing robots and like outfits and stuff and all the crazy sci-fi stuff. It's hard to take it seriously when you're like a meme lord. But that was really fun. I really enjoyed the whole bit. Was totally worth it. He definitely said some controversial things. I think it's going to be a bombshell when they put it on Netflix. I think the special is supposed to be called Strange Times. Joe Rogan's Strange Times. They didn't tell anybody officially that it was on Netflix. I just saw on his Twitter before we went that they had that as like his banner image. So I'm assuming that they might be filming for that because they had a whole bunch of cameras on them and nobody was allowed to use their phones or anything the whole time. So really cool. Joe Rogan live, 5 out of 5 stars. I liked sitting up close. Now I got a story to tell people, but then, I forgot almost the best part. So like he's gonna get off stage and there's nobody sitting to our right for like 4 or 5 seats to the end of the row. It's like, we were pretty secluded for being in the second row. There were like a lot of open seats. So like I could get up and walk right over to the walkway. So my wife's like, oh, he's going, go high five him, go over the walkway. And so I walk over there and I'm about to put my hand up to high five him as he's leaving. And he high fives the guys in front of me, like Joogsquad. And then I get blasted in the face with like 100,000 lumen spotlight from the stage because these spotlights are like rotating around as he's like leaving, and I go to like high-five him, and this thing hits me right in my face, and I can't see anything for like 5 seconds. Like, I've never been personally diagnosed, but I'm like 95% sure that I'm like high-functioning autism, and like one of those things is that photosensitivity, and like when I get hit in the face with lights like that, I can't see anything. I'm like a deer in the headlights. If I'm like in a dark room and I walk outside, it'll take me like a couple seconds for my eyes to adjust to the brightness. And I know that everyone's like, well, duh, of course, but it's like, it's more intense. So like when I got hit in the face with that thing, I couldn't see anything. And by the time my sight came back, I didn't even know how he had like left. He was right in front of me and I was about to high-five him, and then I could see again and he's like gone. And I started laughing at my wife, and I'm like, I really hope that one of these camera guys got that of me just getting laser beamed in the face, because I must have made the funniest face like that you could imagine. And then I was so bummed because I wanted to high-five him, and she was like, well, you know, maybe you'll get another chance in the future to like, you know, give him a high-five or something. And I'm like, yeah, that's true. So we go home, and everybody thought it was great. I mean, because there's thousands of us walking out of the stadium to our parked cars and stuff, and you hear people talking. You're just kind of eavesdropping while you're waiting on the light. And everybody thought it was hilarious, and definitely would recommend it to anyone that's, you know, wondering, is it worth going to see him? Well, I would say from now forward, he's not gonna like be contagious because he's already got it. So that's good for anyone else that's gonna go see him. And yeah, I hope he gets well soon. He's a cool guy. I've been watching him since I was a wee lad, and watching the Fear Factor season 1 since then. And I love all the stuff. He talked a little bit about Bob Lazar. I think that's a super cool topic. I can't go into much detail, but I've got family that also worked there, and I've never spoken to them personally about it because they're deceased, but they worked there, and it's super cool. Whatever UFO kind of alien stuff they're working on, I'm sure it's pretty neat. And I know that like Elon says it's not that impressive, and that there's like Area 59 and so on at this point. I know S4 exists and all that, but back then that was like super cool because that was like a pioneering spot for that kind of like top secret stuff. And that's the kind of stuff that where you develop the stuff that keeps us safe in situations like right now. So that was really neat. I really enjoyed the Joe Rogan show. I'm looking forward to the release of New World Open Beta, which is in a couple more days. So stay tuned for that. And I'm going to get some new content. I'm going to make a new character because we have to. And it's going to be great. Oh, also, I would like to add that I'm not a doctor or financial advisor. I want to say that because I'm not trying to give anyone advice on any sort of medicine. I don't know anything about ivermectin. I've had people offer it to me already, and I just kind of was like, you know, that's like it's like a commercial livestock dewormer. I guess some doctors prescribe it, but it's not like a normal prescription, and the FDA doesn't recommend ivermectin for COVID. It's for parasites. But on that topic, I do, in our house, we do a Parasite Cleanse annually now. And basically, we just get some over-the-counter, like, herb stuff. A lot of it is, like, black walnut extract and a lot of other stuff. Hold on, let me just go get it. Okay. So, I'm not affiliated with these people, this company. I make no money from telling you about it. And I'm not a doctor, and this is not for COVID. I'm not even telling you to get this. I'm just telling you I take it. But this is a immune and digestive support supplement. that it's a regimen that I get from Cellcore Biosciences. It doesn't require a prescription, and it comes in a 4-step system called the full moon system. And like I said, in my family, we're doing this once a year now. Some people run it continuously. I'm just doing it as like a cleanse, and it's been working for me, and I'll go into detail on that in a minute. But basically, you take this stuff, and it's supposed to help your body naturally expel roundworms, tapeworms, hookworms, tapeworms, different types of parasites, mostly digestive. Some of it will work throughout your body. Like I said, once again, I'm not a doctor. I'm just reiterating what is in their brochure and what they told me when I bought it. But they've got it in this 4-step system here. There's 3 capsules, different types of capsules, and then 1 dropper. And there's 120 of each capsule. And capsule 1 is immune and digestive support. It's called Para 1, and its ingredients are organic mimosa pudica seed. And that's pretty much it. That's the only ingredient in here. And you're supposed to take 1 or 2 capsules twice a day on an empty stomach. And so that's once in the morning, once before you go to bed, empty stomach. Alright, so that's pudica seed. Then you take the second one also when you wake up and when you go to bed. Same with Para 1 and Para 2 go together. This second one has Vedanga, Neem, Triphala, Holarena, I'm not sure if I'm saying that right, Amala, Clove, polyelectrolytes, fulvic acid, polysaccharides, and diabasic. And so that's you take those 2 in the morning, empty stomach, before you go to bed on an empty stomach. And then there's this biotoxin that you take 3 times a day. It says to take 2 capsules twice daily, but I do 3 capsules a day. 1 at breakfast, 1 at lunch, 1 at dinner. And I pair that with the Para 3, which is the dropper. But the biotoxin basically allows your digestive system to collect all of the stuff that's stuck in the nooks and crannies, and also it binds to any parasites that you might have in your digestive tract, and it adds that resistance in a goo form that helps your body naturally remove them. So this biotoxin binder is made out of molybdenum and a proprietary blend of humic acid, polyelectrolytes, polysaccharides, diabasic acid, broccoli sprout, and yucca root. And then to finish it off, the Para 3 dropper. You put 5-10 drops of this into your water 3 times a day. I pair it with the biotoxin binder at breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And then I do 5 or 10 drops depending on how I'm feeling. If I'm feeling like my stomach's solid that day, I got the iron stomach, then I'll go with the 10 drops. If I'm feeling a little weak or woozy, digestively, I'll take 5 and just to go easy. But this drop is a proprietary blend of sage leaf, tansy herb, thyme leaf, epazote herb, black walnut hull, holy basil leaf, and clove bud. Now, when I started this regimen, I was a little skeptical at first. It was my wife that really got me onto it. And, I've heard about this stuff in the past, but when you think about it in practice, if you eat a lot of sushi and stuff like I do, and medium rare meats, or even seared meats, seared fish like ahi tuna, sushi, stuff like that. It's pretty easy and common for somebody to get a parasite over their lifetime, if not many of them. And they're pretty nifty and good at not getting removed by our body. They do things in your body that make it hard for your body to like remove them without this extra help. So what this stuff does is, in theory, it's called the full moon package. But what this full moon package does is, because naturally, I guess, parasites are more active during the full moon cycle, and that coincides with the whole werewolf mythology that like during the full moon these men turn into monsters and like, you know, eat flesh and stuff. And the idea is that like during the full moon the parasites in the body actually like have an influence over your, I guess, overall vibe. But need I digress. These things collect in your body if you're around livestock, if you're public bathrooms, just shopping at the store, you know, your friend might have it. And then, you know, pets are a good source, especially if you're not medicating them like regularly for different types of worms and stuff. It's pretty common things, and it's easy. Anybody can get the parasites and stuff. So like if you've never done one, I'm almost 30 and this was the first time doing it. And to be completely frank with you, I was kind of frightened about what came out of my body. I was debating whether or not I should go to the doctor. Not because I was worried like that something, it was going to get worse, or that the process was like uncomfortable, painful, because they say it could, you know, you can get like toxicity lockout and stuff if you don't do it right. But that wasn't the case. I was just like, I had been having gastrointestinal problems for like a while, and I'd gone into the doctor over and over, and they prescribed me all these pills and nothing was helping. Indigestion and stuff too. And then I do some research on these parasites and I think, oh man, I've got all of these symptoms. I've got grinding teeth, I'm having trouble sleeping, I'm having, you know, all the other side effects, inflammation, fatigue. And a lot of the side effects are similar to COVID, which is why I think that whole, I guess you could say, conspiracy theory about ivermectin is coming from, because a lot of the symptoms are the same. It's kind of like if you WebMD'd them, you'd think you have the same thing. You know, run fever, body chills, that kind of stuff. And then obviously, you know, nausea, vomiting, diarrhea, and extreme cases there's vomiting. But, you know, you could die from parasitic infections, and it's not as common in the first world like the United States, but it's very common throughout the world, actually. You know, when an animal dies, the parasites essentially are what starts the breakdown process, because now the body's not like healing and fighting them anymore, so they just like continue to reproduce and, you know, take advantage of their hosts. So you want to get those suckers out of you, because it's causing immune problems. For me, it was causing some eczema even. So I did this. I got about 15 days into it. I passed several different types of parasites. I took pictures of them. I'm not going to link them because they're gross. I didn't even send them to anybody. I just took a picture so I could show my wife, because she didn't believe me at first. And, you know, I've had different types of worms. One of them was a hookworm. It was probably like a foot. Maybe that's a little long. Maybe like 6-8 inches. Then there was a tapeworm, which was like, it was like white and segmented. And I didn't like inspect the stuff, but I saw enough that it made me like sick to my stomach. And the reason why I'm telling everybody this is because this is probably, like I said, I'm not a doctor, but this is probably a better alternative to ivermectin. If your doctor doesn't prescribe you that, and you don't want to go in there asking for parasite cleansing stuff, I would check out Cellcore Biosciences, pair 1, 2, and 3 with the biotoxin binder. It's a full moon package. Like I said, I'm not an affiliate. I'm not getting paid for this at all. I'm just telling you simply out of the kindness of my heart. That's what's worked for me and my family. And I gotta tell you, I do feel like I have a lot more energy now than I used to. to the point where I'm like, up at night, like I have extra energy. So I got to start doing stuff. But like before, I just felt so like sluggish, and like now I feel like I'm not having that same sort of like inflammation and joint pain and indigestion and just being tired and fatigue. And I'm going to go back in and finish the second half of it, second 15-day cycle. But I hope you all do well. Joe Rogan, I hope you get well soon. See y'all later. Like, comment, subscribe. I'll see you. Peace.